Good afternoon, everybody. Namaste. Today, after listening to these young people, I don't think I really need to say anything more than it's already said. Two young ladies, two young men. If what they have said is implemented by you young people, the next generation, I don't think we need to say anything more or get worried about anything. And I'm sure with the fiery speeches that you two young ladies have made, including the two young gentlemen, everything is going to be in order. I think the future is bright for all young ladies, and rightfully so. We really don't need any reservation. I thank Rahul Karad for persuading me to come to this munch, because I thought I am not the right person to be here, because he said that the young people who are coming here are the future parliamentarians. And I really do not deal anything with politics. Although it's referred in the program that I'm a social activist, I'm not a social activist either. I just do what I think is best for humanity, for those who believe they want to make a change in their life. Talking about 33% reservation, the young people have already made it quite clear that we don't need any 33% reservation. Is that what is needed? I don't think so. I don't think for empowering women we need reservation. How would I have empowered myself without reservation? I'm talking about now 50 years ago, when I became the first mechanical engineer. I became on my own. Nobody empowered me, nobody made any reservation for me. I did it because I wanted to do it. I did it because I thought that's the best thing for me to do it. I did it because my mother, I didn't have a father, so there was no question of any man giving me reservation. It's my mother who thought that it's good for me to get educated. Because without education, you really cannot make any progress. You may have reservation of 33%. We have many sarpanches who have 33% reservation. Because of that, they've become sarpanch. But believe me or not, without education, it's of no use. They don't really take any decision. They don't really run anything. It's the men behind them who are running it. I know of a sarpanch who came to one of our function, and she was reading something and she was holding it the other way around. And she said, oh yes, everything is okay, I'm satisfied. I mean, this shows that there was no way that she was taking any decisions in the matter of her village where she was nominated as a sarpanch. It was reservation, but reservation for the man behind her rather than the woman. So we do not want that. We want women to stand on their own feet. And I think this is possible only if a woman is educated. Knowing this and believing in this, I started the foundation way back when I was at the peak of my career. Normally people say you should start social work when you are retiring. When you retire, and you should then have time enough to do social work. I don't believe that. You should start social work when you have the capacity to do it, when you have the confidence to do it, when you're not worried about your old age, who's going to look after me. I started this when I was at the peak of my career. I wanted to support the education of brilliant children, brilliant girls who had the capacity to study, capacity to grow, capacity to become independent, but did not have the means. And today, this is the 20th year. I started this foundation 20 years ago, with only 24 girls which I supported. And I'm very happy to tell you that in 2014, we supported 1,000 girls. And this is possible. Remember, in these 18 years, 19 years, I've supported about 3,000 girls. And just imagine, just these 3,000 girls, if 3,000 girls work professionally, even for 20 years of their life, and assume that they get in a year at the average salaries, earning capacity of 10 lakhs in a year. You know how much economy they are adding to the country? 60,000 crores they would add to the economy of the country. And if every year I can add on another 1,000 girls, every year we can add 20,000 crores to the economy of our country. And what a difference it will make. What a difference will make. No reservation will make this difference. You can give whatever reservation you want. It will not make that difference. And therefore, I come back again to say education of the girl child is the most important thing. While we do concentrate on educating girls, we also must not forget that we need to educate the boys too. Because we don't want unbalanced society. We want a balanced society. What happens? Why do these newspaper you read a lot of atrocities against women happen? This happens because boys are not educated. Academic education is not education. Value education is what education is all about. I think this was the first time that our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, made a statement that why do we only ask the girl when she goes out, where you're going, when you will come back, what are you going to do? Why can't we ask our boys where the hell you're going and what are you doing out there? Why don't we educate the boys right at home? That respect women, respect your sister. We start from there. Yeah, you can do what you like. The sister has to stay at home. She has to sweep, she has to mop, she has to clean the table, she has to cook. You can go out and play. She cannot go out and play. Why? Why do we do this? Why can't we tell the boy also that you also have to participate in working at home and playing outside? Both have to play, both have to work, both have to build their life together. And boys need to be told what is right, what is wrong, right at home. Why these wrong things happen? Because we don't educate our boys. And there's no effort made either by the academics. I'm sorry to say this, Rahul, but nothing is done about educating boys how to treat women, how to treat girls, what is it? Even girls and boys, when they're studying together, they need to be taught how to respect each other, what is the value each one adds to the other's life. And this is missing in our education system. Therefore, shift in the attitude of people is the most important thing that we need to do. Reservation will make them less likely to be independent psychologically. We need to empower all of women psychologically. We can empower them technically, but until and unless we empower them psychologically to know, to believe in themselves, we will not succeed. So our effort should be to psychologically empower the women, change the mindsets of the society. Today, yes, in today's paper morning I was reading, in Pune, from Swargate to Pulgate, the bus was going, and there were 3 girls in the bus. 2 boys got into the bus, and they started to fool around with the girl. The girl did not like it, she slapped him. This guy takes out a blade from his pocket, and he slashes her arms and her neck and her back. And imagine all the bus people, how many men and boys were there? Nobody dared to get up to support her. Those 2 boys stopped the bus and got out, but nobody protested. Is this the right thing? Would reservation help anything in this? This is today's paper I'm reading. And I think this is happening everywhere, every day. We need to get society to participate in the security and the safety of women. Remember this, today it's happened to another girl. Tomorrow it could happen to your sister, your daughter, your wife, your mother. Don't forget, this can happen to anybody. And until unless each one of us steps up, we will not be able to move ahead successfully in life in giving women the right position in the society. There are many successful women. I won't say there are not successful. I'm a successful woman. I became MD 40 years ago. So that's not the issue. Exceptional cases are always there who are determined and they move ahead in life. We need to make this as a mass movement. We need to have many more politicians, women politicians. We need to have many more corporate world. Corporate world has started to take action on gender diversity. We have a lot of women now working in the corporate. In politics, women are still missing. And that's probably because of our male politicians. They don't want to have women politicians around. They are afraid. I think they are afraid. Do you agree? Yes, I think all women should shout. They all are afraid of us. And we need to change this. We need to change this, and we need to change this on our own merit and not on reservation. I don't believe in reservation. Reservation makes us feel weak and makes us feel inferior. Those who ask for reservation are inferior people. We should not ask for reservation at all. Women should want to be successful. They should be wanting to be winners, and she should focus. She should focus on being a successful professional rather than a man or a woman. I am a woman, so I should be successful. No, I am successful because I am I, and I want to be successful. That should be her theme. Have no self-pity. Women should not feel sorry for themselves. Why should we feel sorry? God has given us everything. In addition to all the men have, we also have beauty. That's an added advantage. Believe me. Believe me, it's an added advantage to be a woman. I'll give you an example of when I was just about starting my career as an export manager. I went to Sri Lanka. Previous to me, the export manager was not very successful in exporting products. I was given that job. And everybody told me, now your turn to go out, because that job was a very difficult job. I said, we'll see. I went to Sri Lanka, and I was trying to make an attempt to sell our products. In Alfa Laval, we made dairy equipment, right? I went to sell dairy equipment there. I asked her, I had to go to see the minister of agriculture. I had no appointment. I went there, and I told that secretary, I want to meet him. He says, sorry, you don't have appointment, you cannot meet him. I said, please, you just take my card and show it to him. I've come all the way from India. He took my card, read there, Mrs. Leela Poonawalla, BE, I purposely used to write there because BE Mechanical was very rare that time. So BE Mechanical from India. So he said, okay, maybe minister might like to see you. He sent the card in. Of course, minister was interested to see who's the girl. Girl come from India, a mechanical engineer trying to sell something. Let me have a look at her. Advantage one. Yes, because I got a door opener. My previous export manager never got a chance to meet him. I got a chance to meet him, and then of course it was my capacity, my capability of convincing what I could do and what my company could do. And I was, believe me or not, the most successful export manager of Alfa Laval. During my time, I brought $16 million order, export order, which was 3 years order for the company from Soviet Union, only because I believe I was a woman export manager. When I went to Russia to do the selling, there again I went to meet the Minister of Agriculture, because Agriculture Minister used to buy products. I went there to sell, and I went in mid of December, cold, ice cold. And when I went there, obviously in India we don't have warm coats, fur coats. So I went there with a little bit of sweater around me. He was amazed that I could come there in this cold without a proper warm coat. So he asked me, aren't you feeling cold? What should I tell him? I told him, no, in India we have warm hearts, so we're always warm. Believe me or not, that one statement made me succeed in USSR. After that, every time I went, I brought an order home. In fact, my company got tired of me. They told me, now you stop selling, you come and produce. Yeah, because you know, they liked the way I dealt with them. They liked the way I approached the problems. That's one thing about my professional life. But coming back to the education of women, which I started, as I said, 20 years ago, we have our Amravati MLA, right? This year, we have gone to give scholarships and support women in Amravati and Wardha. So far, we were supporting only in Pune district. Yeah, but you will be surprised. I was amazed at what is happening in Amravati and Wardha. In Amravati, 40% of the girls I gave scholarship to are single parent because their fathers have committed suicide. In Wardha, 30 to 35% are children, girls, without parents. You know why? Because their parents have died of AIDS. I was shocked. I don't know how many of you know how much Wardha is going through this type of problems. All Vidarbha has got a lot of issues, a lot of problems, and I think if you all are going to be future parliamentarians, you jolly well look into these issues, that it's not about reservation for women. It's about making them become economically independent, become confident, and go ahead in life. We are also working in village schools, and the village schools, the tribal schools, the children there are so good. Actually speaking, the children in the village schools are far more intelligent than our children in the city schools. It's my own personal experience. I'm telling you, they're much more motivated. They only do not have the right resources to go ahead in life. If we can provide those resources to them, we can make a big difference in India, because that's where the real India is. My friends, let's tackle these problems where real India belongs, not in cities where we are living. Thank you very much, and I wish you all a good luck. We are starting a new year. Wish you all a very happy new year and good luck to you.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। लीला पूनावाला जी को हमने सुना, जिनका ये मानना है कि 33% आरक्षण बेकार है। महिलाओं को आज़ादी दो काम करने के लिए, उनको माहौल दो, उन्हें आर्थिक रूप से संपन्न बनाओ, महिलाएं कुछ भी कर सकती हैं। बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया लीला जी।